There's something actually I was thinking about because it came up in American Nations. The staunch moderate, the absolute moderate populations, that they just, that's the way they roll. Oh, by the way, oh, we got a duck check. We got a duck check. Look at that, bro. Look at that. Oh, powerful mallard showing me his colors. Now he's just like, yeah, look at that. He's like, what are you looking at me? What do you want? What are you looking at this? What? Flipper. So there's the thing, the example. In case anybody is wondering, it's a really very, very, very good book. American Nations. Colin Woodward, I believe was his name, and he was discussing at the time 11 nations of the United States, all these different places where people settled in such concentrations that to this day those concentrations of these different descendants all still live in those areas. So you can track political points of view and culture in a fascinating way. And so, one of the things about the moderate American is that this is such a large group because they are mostly German settlers. This is something that I've been thinking about that's very, 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 very important. Most people, because of really American bigotry against Germans, which has quite a bit of history to it, we kind of get this idea. We think of the Prussians more than we really think of the Germans. We think of like the Austro-Hungarian Empire, stuff like that. But really, the people who ended up, say, being these farmers who settled the Midwest, and started beer gardens and things like that. Like the beer garden itself is a sign of the moderate policies and ways of the Midwestern German descendants. We'll call them Boers often to this day, because they're the farmers, and that the Boers and such, these are people that are exceedingly accepting of outside groups. They don't necessarily marry into them, but they just simply have no problem with groups that are different than them. But they also maintain who they are, because it's not even avoiding mingling. They just don't do it. The other groups do. They are very, very into mingling with other groups. But so these moderates, they're where we get the idea of fair play. Like them and what Ann Coulter identified recently as the WASPs. These are two groups that absolutely are the foundation culturally of where we get fair play. And without that idea, it starts becoming ugly. And it starts becoming like many other parts of the world that are diverse, that the different groups all start working against one another and working for their own group's interests. Or they form weird coalitions of ethnic interests and interests of extremes of politics. But one of the things that when people are talking about all this Civil War business and stuff, one of the most important things is seeing moderate Germans on the internet who they can't conceive of political extremism. They culturally simply have always denied it. It's been a thing that's been a part of like the Appalachians or these other groups of people that they're kind of wild and crazy. These guys just farm. Well, now they're realizing, a lot of these other groups are going to get us. And now that changes everything. Because once you have converted these people to non-moderation, no one knows anything about it. Ooh, pardon me. No one is really, well, this was a group that was more than willing to fight fellow Germans in a war for their new country. So it's this is gonna be a weird thing. Like Jeremy Hambley is a great example. He was super moderate. To this day, he's still fiercely moderate. But people are making him right wing. And he doesn't know what to do. So he's kind of like, okay, well, this is, I at least better know what it is that I'm dealing with. And the left, they don't get any of this. The cultural liberals and progressives, people like Hassan Piker, especially people like him, because Hassan Piker is a bigot. What's it called? People like Vaush and people like Destiny, they're deracinated men, so they have no place they really fit in. They're just not cool anywhere among any group of people. They're not cool really. So so it's just one of these things of like, I'm just kind of on this good luck with that, because the more I'm thinking about, where do you think you're going to turn these moderates to? Where do you think they have to go? They have a farm. They want normal life. They want normal life. They don't want BLM life. They don't want Antifa life. They don't want Hamas Palestine Yay Alliance life. That's not what they want. They don't want, and now we're going to all bow to the indigenous people who were once here. No, no. And they want a normal life. Everyone, including the left, is going to beg for order when the time comes. And we're not going to be caught slipping.